You know, now that I've awakened from my slumber, yeah. Oh man, I'm waiting on people to get in because apparently 2K, motherfuckers we don't know shit about boxing, man. I mean, according to Timothy Bradley,
That's
we don't
what
know
he
shit about.
said.
Yeah, man, we don't know shit about boxing, man.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like it, listen, man. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or nothing like that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to toot my own fucking horn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm about to
Like,
say,
we
you
keep
go
telling
ahead.
cats. We keep telling cats, man. We're right 90% of the time. I didn't understand why a lot of people were saying that this is gonna be a good fight, and it wasn't British fans, bro. I'm not even gonna put that on them like that. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, all these Brits was out there saying Kell Brook was gonna beat. Nah, man, this was worldwide, nigga. United States, UK, Mexico, shit, wherever. Boxing fans, wherever they're at, a lot of them were saying this was gonna be a good fight. The problem is, Bo, is that a lot of people were falling into the hype of what Kell Brook was talking about prior to the fight.
Yep.
They're falling into the hype of him, running on the treadmill and giving the camera a thumbs up. They're falling into the hype of him, dancing and joking around and, his body looking nice and chiseled and shit. They're falling into that hype, dog.
Oh, yeah.
And they really thought that Kell Brook was going to offer somewhat of a challenge to Bud Crawford, bro. I think, and what also goes with that, dog, is that people seem to think that Bud Crawford is not as good as he's advertised. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They like to say that he ain't fought nobody and his resume is thin. Hey, I agree with y'all when y'all talk about that shit when it comes to 147. I agree 100%. His resume is thin at 147. Why?
Yes, it is.
Because it's blocked. Basically, he's been blocked by PBC since he's got there. So, of course, his resume is thin at 147, right? Bob Arum can't make those fights for him. Hell, that's why they're in fucking litigation right now. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, when you look at his resume from 135 up, his shit is not skinny at all.
No, it's not.
His resume thick like one of them bad bitches you see at the strip club. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So
yeah, like one of them trap bitches he be hanging out with.
Exactly. So that's what people are. They're looking at the here and now. That's why I call these motherfuckers Luther Vandross niggas, man. Because they all about that here and now, bro. They forget what happens in the past. They all about the here and now. From the last 2 months, his resume been thin. Yeah, we all know that. But Terence Crawford has proven himself. From 135 up, he has proven himself. So thinking that a worn out, washed up, skid mark version of fucking Kell Brook was going to do something to Terence Crawford was fucking asinine, bro. And I didn't understand why people were saying it. I mean, literally, this version of Kell Brook was that shitty stain that your little 5-year-old son has in his drawers. That's this version of Kell Brook.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog.
Nigga, this version of Kell Brooks get beat by Rashidi Ellis, Boots Enos. Hell, I'm even willing to say Virgil Ortiz.
Yes, he gets beat by them dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? Look here, man. Josh Taylor moves up to 147 and beats Kell Brook. After Josh Taylor beats Jose Ramirez, whenever that fight gets made in 2021, and he decides to move up to 147 like he said he would after becoming undisputed, and Kell Brook is still hanging around, that's a good name for him. Nice introduction into 147 because Josh Taylor beats him. Kell Brook has been a done fighter since he lost to Errol Spence. And it's not because of the broken orbital bones. It's because that's one reason. Another reason is because of how he has not taken care of himself. We told y'all on the video before this one, which was the breakdown and prediction video. We told y'all, we said, fam, this motherfucker missed weight twice before he fought Sergey Rabchenko, right?
Yep.
Missed weight twice. And that was at a weight class that was higher than he had been campaigning at previously. How the fuck do you... It's like some Tank Davis shit. Tank Davis was missing weight at 130, moved up to 135 to fight Yuri Gamboa and missed weight there. How the fuck do you move up in weight because you can't make weight at your home, basically at the weight class you're campaigning? So you make the decision to move up because you're like, yeah, I can't make that weight no more, but I can make this one, and then miss weight there too. Not once, but fucking twice.
Yes.
Then he looked bad against Michael Zarafa, y'all probably don't even know who the fuck that is. Right?
Yeah, that's that fucking what they call that nigga, that Chippendale nigga dancing nigga that fought Peter Quillen.
Yeah, lost to Peter Quillen, right. He was a Chippendale dancer, you're right.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, dog. Like, he looked bad against him. He won virtually every round, but it wasn't impressive. It was terrible. It was a terrible performance, right? And then he fights Mark DeLuca, a Boston, Massachusetts native that nobody fucking heard of except his promotional company. And sure, he beat him, but it's Mark DeLuca. We told y'all this. That's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers need to listen to Three Kings Boxing, man. I'm trying to tell you cats, man. Y'all need to listen. Stop listening to these other motherfuckers. I was listening to that whack-ass shit on DAZN. AK Barak, right?
Right.
I was listening to that just waiting on the goddamn Katie Taylor to fight to happen earlier today. And I'm listening to it, and I'm listening to how biased the show is. Why would you, as boxing fans, listen to a promoter speak about his own fighter? That makes no fucking sense to me. Mm-hmm. So they're talking about Luke Campbell and fucking versus Ryan Garcia, and they got Eddie Hearn on the show. It's gonna be a biased opinion, nigga.
Of course it is.
Of course because they're like, hey, you know, Devin Haney basically says some shit like Ryan Garcia is an easy fight. What do you think about that, Eddie? Of course, Eddie interjected and said, well, I really don't give a fuck about that because Ryan Garcia is not going to beat Luke Campbell. Of course he's going to say that.
Exactly.
So it's a biased opinion, and I'm trying to figure out, why do people listen to that bullshit? I would rather, me personally, I'd be listening to somebody who doesn't have a dog in any of these fucking races, like Three Kings Boxing doesn't. We tell you exactly what the fuck is going to happen based off our analysis,
mm-hmm.
right? And more than likely, it's going to happen, just like tonight.
Right. All right. Now, let me interject on one thing, because I know it's going to happen. You're going to get that one dumbass that's going to say, well, Bo, yesterday you said, dog, number one, it was satire. But number two, I was talking about if he finished the fight, how Bob might screw him, because the nigga was talking about leaving. And I gave examples how other fighters left. But in the end, I said, I see a knockout. I think I picked the 6th round. He ended my fucking 4. I said, man, Crawford knocks this nigga out in 6, though. Right? Yeah. So before one of you motherfuckers say it, that's what it is. Now, you know, listen, we could, you know, fuck it, man, because we didn't kick the show off irregularly, because this is the shit that I'm tired of personally. I'm personally tired of this shit. I'm tired of these boxing groups, boxing fans. You know why boxing is fucked up? Because of shit right here. Let's call it what it the fuck is, okay? If you was telling me that Kell Brook was damaged goods when he fought Earl because of what happened to Gennady Golovkin, then there is no fucking way you should have been trying to tell me a dude that has not fought at 147 since losing to Earl Spence 3 fucking years ago, okay? Who, like 2K said, couldn't make weight at 150 motherfucking 4, was going to be able to beat Bud Crawford, a dude that's number 1 pound for pound. Name me any other number 1 pound for pound fighter we would have been saying that about.
Right.
Name me any other number 1 pound for pound fighter. Teofimo Lopez is way better than Kell Brooks, and motherfuckers couldn't believe he was going to beat Lomachenko. So how the fuck did motherfuckers get to thinking Brook was going to be a competitive fight against Crawford?
It's what I said, because they basically have shitted on Terence Crawford's skills. There's motherfuckers out there that were picking Kell Brook to win this fight. I seen it. I seen it on Instagram. I seen it several places. There were people out here really picking Kell Brook to win this fight. And I'm looking at this shit like, dog, like how? What under what circumstance do you realistically believe that Kell Brook wins this fight? Like, and I hate when motherfuckers say, so-and-so wins the fight. Well, why? Because I think so. Well, then I don't value your fucking opinion, because you can't give a well-educated analysis and breakdown of why you think fighter A beats fighter B. You can't do that. So I really don't give a fuck about you. You don't know shit about boxing. That's why you're saying, because I said so, right? That's the easiest way to do it. But, of course, I didn't ask these cats, hey, man, break this fight down. I didn't say that, right? I just look at this shit and be like, these niggas are stupid. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the fact that the shit was even out there, that I was actually seeing that, it tells me that there's a lot of people out here that are fanboying for Kell Brook, which I don't really see much of that, right? I don't think Kell Brook has that kind of fan base globally. Maybe in the UK, but not globally. Or B, they just really don't respect Terence Crawford for the type of fighter he is. Or C, and let me say B was probably because they just don't like the nigga, whatever. Or they're fans of Errol Spence, so now they shit on Terence Crawford. Because there's always got to be a rift and a rivalry in boxing, right?
Of course.
So maybe that could be the reason why B happened. Or C, they just really don't know shit about boxing. It's one of those three. Here's the deal.
Go ahead.
Here's the deal, man. Kell Brook looked. We said this yesterday in the prediction video. We said Kell Brook could possibly make this fight competitive for 3 rounds. I know it came out of my mouth, and I know Bo agreed to it.
I sure did.
Go back and listen to the video. Go about the hour mark. That's when we start talking about Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook. I said this fight could possibly be competitive for 3 rounds. Right on the fucking money. That's exactly what it was. But it wasn't necessarily because, Terence Crawford sucks and Kell Brook is that good and Kell Brook is back to who he is. No. Terence Crawford has always been a slow starter. And some fights he's came out right out of the gate. But for the most part, Terence Crawford is a guy that sits there and reads you for about 2 or 3 rounds. Then he gets in the mix. He's always been that way. Victor Postal wasn't really that way because he found that shit pretty easily with him and kept the same game plan. That's why he was able to knock him down like 5 or 6 times in that fight, right? But realistically, he's sitting there reading you for 2 to 3 fucking rounds, dog. Then he kicks in the gear. That's exactly what he did tonight. He read you for 2 to 3 rounds and kicked it in the gear and knocked him the fuck out. Bo, you made a good point earlier today. You said Kell Brook, and jump in, man. I need you to jump in on this shit.
Okay.
You said Kell Brook got hit by a punch that he would have eaten 3 years ago.
Yes, because he did. If you look at the punch that just knocked Kell Brook out, it was really Terence Crawford throwing a jab. It was not a hook. I know y'all going to say that. Watch it again. Kell Brook was trying to come in with a straight right hand, and Crawford just threw a strong fucking jab. Yep. Okay? And that punch kind of hit Kell Brook like in maybe in the top part of his face, right? Watch when Golovkin hit Kell Brook. That nigga didn't even wobble back like that when Golovkin hit him. Matter of fact, even when he went back out with the broken orbital bone, this motherfucker was getting blazed and he was still trying to throw shit back.
Sure was.
Okay? Then go to Earl fucking Spence. He was getting hit harder than in Earl Spence. When Kell went down is when the other eye puffed up on his ass. But outside of that, he was eating those punches from Earl. Go look at the Sean Porter fucking fight. So that punch right there told me just how done this motherfucker was. Because that's a punch 3 years ago, that motherfucker would have ate.
Yep.
All it was, he was coming forward, this nigga threw a jab. That's it. That's all it was. It sent him back to the ropes. That's it. Nigga was out on his feet from that. No, man. No, man. Yep. Fuck out of here, dog. Get the fuck out of here with that, man. Listen, because, I'm seeing some people saying, oh, those are PBC people that's hating on him. Hold on, dog.
Not true.
That's right, exactly. That's not true. Those not just PBC people hating on him. And if you want to be real, that shit goes hand in hand because them niggas hate on PBC. Like if motherfuckers anti-PBC hate on PBC fighters too. All right. Yeah. Okay. But at the end of the day, we was trying to tell y'all that Kell Brook was a done fighter. We told y'all if Terence knocks him out like this, I specifically said this is a no-win situation for Terence Crawford. Why? Because he's gonna be Kell Brook, who's a done fighter. Everybody gonna be like, okay, man, he was a done fighter. And if he struggles with Kell Brooks, people are gonna say the nigga's overrated.
Yeah. Let me do this real quick, man. My man Lord Zoe said we in these streets.
What's up?
Hamza Malik. He said we in these streets. My man, the beautiful Amina K. She said she's also in these streets. Yeah, I gotta shout them out. J Mar said we in these streets. That's what's up. Hey, man, when you drop that "we in these streets," you know I'm going to shout that shit out, dog, because that's what we do. We in these motherfucking streets. 12:15 a.m., 1:15 Eastern time, bro. We in this motherfucker at night when everybody sleep, kids in the bed with a thumb in their mouth. We talking boxing, man. Go ahead, bro.
My man Keith Abdul Quay said that's bullshit because every fighter that put in front of Crawford, he beat them whether you know it or not. That's why he is pound for pound the best fight in boxing. He number one. We actually agree with you. I got him as my number one pound for pound. But here's the thing though. We're talking about his run at 147 is weak. He beat Jeff Horn. I'll give him Jeff Horn because Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao, right? But Jose Benavidez, Amir Khan, now Kell Brook, yeah, you can make the argument that, yo, man, his run at 147 is definitely weak. But prior to that, that motherfucker, like my man said earlier, that run at 135 and 140? No, dog. No, dog. He was fighting some of the top dudes that was there, especially when he became undisputed. You can get mad all, and I remember Cass was shit on his undisputed run at 140. And I'm like, wait a minute, dog. That's not his fault that Julius Ndongo won back-to-back world titles, and that's the motherfucker that he faced. That motherfucker being a unified champion fighting Kell for undisputed, yeah, dog, that's a top dude at that time. Now, what happened after Crawford fought him, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm not judging him off of that. But when Crawford fought him, he was that fucking dude.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm giving him that. But if you want to talk about his run at 147, that's what they're going to say, Kwai. They're going to say that.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, yeah, because at the end of the day, you got Earl Spence coming off of a car accident, fresh into a fight with motherfucking Danny Garcia.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Rampage fan, he said, come on, man. Do people really think a dude talking about someone gonna hit you with a chocolate brownie going to beat right? This nigga don't even have chocolate brownies no more, man. This motherfucker got bite-sized cookies. This motherfucker got them little bitty Chips Ahoy cookies you get in the little fun size bag. That's what the fuck he got now.
Oh, dog. Oh, dog. That's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? And that chin is one of them fun size cookies too, getting knocked out by a power jab. Get the fuck out of here, man. That showed y'all this dude is. Listen, man. Kell Brook needs to be sitting down with his accountant talking about a retirement IRA bank account, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So when can I get this money out? Because, you know, boxing's pretty much done for me. That's his conversation tomorrow morning. You know what I'm saying? I didn't value to see Kell Brook whenever he started missing weight at 154. That told me his mind wasn't on boxing.
Right.
You know, at that point in time, I don't want to see this nigga no more. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really I didn't really like Kell Brook as a fighter anyway. Because as I went back into, you know, the fights that he struggled with in his career, Carson fucking Jones, right? I didn't think he was that great of a fighter. I thought the win over Sean Porter was a good one.
Yeah.
But then again, that Sean Porter was very one-dimensional. Sean Porter today would mollywop that Kell Brook that he fought in 2014. Easy work. You know? So I never thought Kell Brook was that big of a fighter to me. I always wanted to see him fight Amir Khan. I thought that was an excellent domestic level matchup.
Oh, man.
That's the one that I wanted to see. I didn't want to see Kell Brook fight, Errol Spence to Terence Crawford. We already knew he was going to win those fights. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think he was that good. And he actually had a good showing against Errol Spence, but he got broken down just like everybody thought he would, right?
Yep.
And then people are going to be like, well, that was after Golovkin. Like, newsflash, this shit would have happened regardless. Because the orbital bone that Errol Spence broke was not the same one Golovkin broke. So you can remove Golovkin breaking one orbital bone, Errol Spence still would have broke the other one. That would have happened regardless. Never thought Kell Brook was world level. However, we got so many goddamn titles out there. Motherfuckers get opportunities to say they're world level because they can land one of those titles. You see what I'm saying? Now, I know a lot of niggas gonna jump in and be like, oh, man, that nigga 2K hating and shit. Psycho them comments, bro. That nigga 2K hating right and shit, bro. That nigga hating, bro. Nah, man, look at his resume. Look what he's done. Look how he fights. Kell Brook is a B-level fighter and always has been. He's C-level now. He's a B-level fighter in his prime. He was a B-level fighter. Him and Amir Khan were on the same fucking level. Amir Khan was slightly higher, right? That's why that fight mattered. That's why people wanted to see it. But like I said, a skid mark version of Kell Brook, listen, man, and this is the fucked up part, and we about to transition. This is the fucked up part. We told y'all they had this fight on the docket for 2 years, bro. Before he fought his mandatory in Aegis Cavaliauskas, right? AKA Mean Machine. Before he fought him, they were talking about Kell Brook. It was after Amir Khan. They were talking about Kell Brook. They were talking about Kell Brook before Amir Khan. Remember that? Because they were going to give him a certain amount of money. Kell Brook turned it down, so they went to Amir Khan. So it was actually before Amir Khan they were talking about Kell Brook, right? And the funny thing is, the reason why they wanted Kell Brook, or they were trying to have Kell Brook, or basically Kell Brook was in the plans for 2 fucking years because they had nowhere to go. PBC owned 147 and 154. Bud's too small for 160, and he's too big for 140. So he's stuck in between a rock and a fucking hard place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had nowhere to go. So he was the only available opponent. Does that sound familiar, Bo?
Yeah.
Because that's what Crawford just said tonight. When they basically asked him straight up, man, why the fuck, I'm a 2K paraphrase it, right? But right. What's dude's name? Bernardo Basuda, nigga.
Yeah.
Bernardo Basuda. He asked him, for you dumb niggas, Basuda, it's the trash, it's Spanish for trash. But anyway, at the end of the day, he asked him, he said, basically straight up, what's the deal with this fight? He didn't ask him like that because he worked for Top Rank, but I'll 2K paraphrase it. What's the deal with this fucking fight? You know what I'm saying? And him and Bob Arum had excuses out the fucking yin yang, dog. Right?
Yep. And
Crawford's excuse, we'll get to Bob Arum later, but Crawford's excuse was, basically he was the only opponent available. No, sir, he was not. Your Dennis Ugas said he'd fight you. Keith Thurman wanted to fight you. Sean Porter wanted to fight you. Wait a minute. Is that right? I'm correct, right, Bo?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, those people did mention that Al Haymon would allow that fight. I'm correct, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure, because I want people to understand that Al Haymon was not blocking any fight with Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, or your Dennis Ugas, who could have stood in front of fucking Kell Brook, right?
Kenny Porter actually came out and said he got the okay to pursue the fight.
Sure did. And they did not want to fight any of those guys. Terence Crawford said, nope, I don't want to fight Sean Porter. That's my best friend. People, let me tell you about my best friend. Get the fuck out of here. Right? He ignored your Dennis Ugas. Like your Dennis Ugas would have fought this nigga for 30 grand. Ugas don't give a fuck. He's just happy to be in America. Go look at his Twitter. He's happy to be in America.
Yeah, he is, man. You're right about that one.
He would have fought Terence Crawford for fucking 30 grand. They just ignored that nigga like he didn't even call him out. Okay. Then you got Keith Thurman, as Bo mentioned in the last show, right? He said he wants 10 million. That's too high. We know that, right?
Yep.
Although you did give Amir Khan 7. However, we're in a pandemic. That's too high, right? Where's the counteroffer? They didn't even give a nigga a counteroffer. They said, nope. Get this nigga out of here. They went and took this nigga out the office and threw him out the window like they did Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop. Keith Thurman get thrown out the fucking window. That's what they did to him. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did to him, Bo. They didn't make a counter offer at all, which tells you that they didn't want that fight either. I'm not saying Bud is ducking any of these guys. He beats them all, in my opinion. Definitely beats your Dennis Ugas and Keith Thurman. He beats those guys.
Yes.
All I'm saying to you is that he didn't make any kind of effort to get those fights done, at least to our knowledge, right?
Right.
Bob Arum could have been the one blocking him. Bob Arum blocks the shit out of fights. Does it all the time. Okay? The whole situation with Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, it started with Bob Arum blocking that fight.
Yep.
Shakur Stevenson was Oscar Valdez's mandatory, right? And I'm talking about this because this is a hot topic right now. Shakur Stevenson was Oscar Valdez's mandatory.
Sure was.
Right? Before Oscar Valdez could even make a fucking decision on whether he wanted to fight him, Bob Arum said, hey, man, drop that belt, go up to 130.
Yep. And
So
then pursue the WBC belt and not the WBO side belt, which
Exactly.
Jamel Herring was holding.
Exactly. Jamel Herring was holding. That's how you know that is your tip-off right there that Bob Arum blocked that fight. Bob Arum plays chess with his boxers, right? Plays chess with his boxers, right? And he moves them in different divisions. I need you to control this division while Shakur is controlling that division. You see? That's what he does, man. So he's like, drop that WBO title, Shakur take it. We'll move you up, get you Miguel Burchell. You can beat him. Nah, Jamel Herring's already holding it down over here. We won't mandate that. Because you know Bob Arum runs the WBO too, right? So he's like, nah, we won't mandate that. We got Jamel Herring on a different track. You'll go the WBC route. You see?
Yeah.
Not that hard to understand this shit.
Oh, dog, he made Shakur Stevenson go, wait a minute, he made Michael Collin go down, so he'd have to face Shakur Stevens.
Yeah.
Then Stevens go up, so he would have to face Emmanuel Navarrete.
Michael Collin went down to super fucking bantamweight.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's not that hard to understand this shit. You just can't be a fucking fanboy, dog.
Yep.
You gotta know that you gotta follow the sport, not a network, a fighter, a manager. You know what I'm saying? A ring card girl. No, nigga, you have to follow the sport to understand what I'm talking about. To be able to get this shit a clear understanding as it's happening. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So Bob Arum blocks fights. We know that. But at the end of the day, I didn't see any indication of Terence Crawford trying to make those fights. And a quote that he made tells me this. This nigga said, when they asked him about Sean Porter, besides him being his best friend, the nigga said, why would I fight him when I'm trying to go for the top dog in the division? Then he made another comment further on down the line. I'm trying to fight the best fighter in the division. I don't want to fight nobody else but Errol Spence. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. So that told me right there, he's not even attempting to pay attention to any of those other guys. Now, that sounds cool, right?
Yes, it does.
Here's the deal. That sounds cool, Bo, right? I want to fight Errol Spence. Fuck everybody else. I feel you, dog. But you got to fight somebody before that nigga Errol Spence is ready. And you chose Kell Brook? And then you're trying to sell to me that Kell Brook was the only one available when I know that all these other niggas called you out and said they would fight you and said that they got the okay from their goddamn guy Al Heyman to fight you? And you're saying that Kell Brook was the only one available? Nigga, I wasn't born yesterday, nigga.
Well, hold on. Let's keep it a buck. The narrative came from one person only. That narrative was kicked off when Timothy Bradley said nobody from PBC wanted to fight him. Mm-hmm. That's where that narrative came from. Now, Terence Crawford has never came out and said them niggas don't want to fight me. Have you heard him say, hey, man, them dudes ain't trying to fight me? Okay. So Terence Crawford's never said them dudes ain't trying to fight me. Let's understand some because I'm reading a lot of y'all comments. We're going to make some enemies tonight, and that's cool. Okay? Sure. We can disagree, and that's fine, right? Make something clear.
Yep.
Was Terence Crawford being blocked from a lot of the PBC guys? Yes. I'll be the first one to tell y'all that. You know why? Because it's called in-house fighting. Do you know who else make a lot of in-house fights? Top Rank. And before you sit there and say, no, bro, no, they don't, ask fucking Devin Haney about that. Mm-hmm. Ask Devin Haney about why he's on the outside looking in at 135. Okay? Ask Dimitri Bivol why he on the outside looking in at 175. Mm-hmm. All right? Motherfuckers make in-house fights. They maximize their dollars making their in-house fights before they look to make a fight outside. The only time you make a fight outside, because like Terrence said, I fought PBC fighters before. Yes, you fought the lower tier dudes. But the top tier guys that are the money makers, we're going to make the money here first. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to go outside. Okay? I do not remember Manny Pacquiao fighting none of them young dogs at PBC till he went over to PBC. Right. And when Timothy Bradley got that chance to fight and Errol Spence, this nigga dipped out the sport. When he was ordered to fight him by the WBC, which was 8 months after Manny Pacquiao, because everybody always said, oh, he had no. They ordered that 8 months after he fought Pacquiao. This nigga dipped out and retired. Okay? Because people used to talk about that. Right? Oh, yeah, make no mistake. Floyd wasn't trying to fight them niggas either. I'll tell y'all that. He wasn't trying to do it either. So at the end of the fucking day, man, all these motherfuckers make in-house fight. Just like we said yesterday. Eddie Hearn will do more of trying to look outside. But if you look over at the UK between him and Frank Warren, them niggas ain't working together unless it's a mandatory.
Right.
So in-house fights is something all these motherfuckers do. That's what it is. And that's what the fuck they do. Because just like y'all crying at me about Crawford, I'm quite sure Dimitri Bivol and Devin Haney feel some kind of motherfucking way. All right. So in-house fights is something that motherfucker. And if you check this channel record, when it was happening to Charlo with Canelo, we told Charlo, hey man, you gotta take your ass over there, dog. So that whole Terence talking about something, there is no other side of the street. Like my man said yesterday. Well, Terence just proved to us, well, no, that's not true, because guess what? You talking about leaving Top Rank to get them fights. So if you talking about leaving Top Rank, then you know there's another side of the street. But that's always how boxing has fucking been. That's always how boxing has fucking been. You want to fight a Top Rank fighter, you got to sign a co-promotional deal. Aleda Alvarez signed a co-promotional deal with Top Rank for this motherfucker to be able on a Top Rank network to fight fucking Kovalov.
Right.
And before y'all say that's not true, no, motherfucker, we were there. I spoke personally to one of the Watson twins when the motherfucker confirmed it with me.
Right.
Personally spoke to him. Okay. Josh Taylor, co-promotional deal. Now he's gonna get Jose Ramirez. All right. Joseph Parker, co-promotional deal. That's when he fought Andy Ruiz. Jeff Horn, co-promotional deal. You know, Emmanuel Navarrete, co-promotional deal. Do you know why Bob does that? Because if my fight or lose, I got control of who's going to get this belt next.
Emmanuel Navarrete was a co-promotional deal when he fought Isaac Dogbay. Just to give y'all context.
Exactly. Exactly. Right? Yep. So at the end of the day, let's not act like that's not what these motherfuckers do. Yes, that's exactly what they do. If I got all the fighters and we can make all the money, why would I split this pie up with you? I'm going to eat as much of this pie I can before I give you your piece.
Yep. So
we can sit and we can be like, oh, they doing this, they doing that. But at the end of the day, Earl Spence just fought Sean Porter. He's coming off accident. He's about to fight Danny Garcia. If Earl fucking Spence after Garcia fights Manny Pacquiao, that's one hell of a gauntlet. I don't give a fuck what y'all say about him not fighting no motherfucking no motherfucking Terence Crawford. That's a hell of a gauntlet. Right? That's why when Terence Crawford was talking about he was gonna fight Pacquiao, I was telling everybody he's not getting that fight. Yeah, but I said, dog, Pacquiao didn't fight him when he was with Top Rank. What makes you motherfuckers think he's getting it now that he's over with PBC?
Right.
Al Heyman is looking to feed that motherfucker to Spence. Why would he give that scalp to Crawford? So let me get this straight. You don't give Crawford Spence. You don't give him Porter. You don't give him Thurman, according to what y'all are saying, and Timothy Bradley. But you'll give him fucking a future Hall of Famer Manny Pacquiao?
Right.
Makes no sense. In-house fight. That's why he fought Thurman. You ain't seen Manny Pacquiao since he dipped. That's why he fought Thurman. You ain't seen him since he dipped out. He doing the senator thing. I'm just saying. I mean, that's what he did.
Yep.
Okay. So at the end of the day, we can sit and unless we're willing to be honest about a conversation, we can get mad all we want about what PBC did to Crawford. The bottom line is those dudes have options. He doesn't. And the only way you get in on that is if you take your ass the fuck over there. And that's the business. Again, I'm giving y'all Josh Taylor. Once he signed the co-promotional deal, all of a sudden we heard about the undisputed fight with Jose Ramirez. Matter of fact, not only did we hear about the undisputed fight with Jose Ramirez, them niggas convinced Jack Carterall to step aside.
Sure did. Jack Catterall fighting some unknown Habib nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know the dude's name, bro. He fighting him next.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Niggas got Jack Carterall step the fuck aside. No, that shit happened immediately.
Nigga, Jack Catterall is fighting the goddamn cashier at the 7-Eleven, nigga.
Hell yeah.
That's his next fight.
Right. Okay. Jack Carterall all of a sudden decided, I guess I'll take this step aside. All right. So That's just how the sport works. Same thing with Joseph Parker. He signed a co-promotional deal. Had one fight with Huggy Fury. When that nigga lost Anthony Joshua, what happened? That nigga's in obscurity.
Yep.
All right. Okay. At 175, what you call it? Joe Smith Jr. co-promotional deal. He got a co-promotional deal with Top Rank because he wanted to be a part of that tournament they had going on. He got a co-promotional deal with them. That's the fucking business, y'all. At the end of the day, that's the goddamn business. That's what they do. And the only motherfuckers that ain't making you do that is Eddie Hearn over at the Zone but he's trying to build his base up here in the US. Now in the UK is totally fucking.
Eddie Hearn is doing that. Don't get it twisted. That nigga's doing that. He does that a hell of a lot more over in the UK than Top Rank PBC do that shit here. Because over in the UK, they hardly ever make fights with his fighters and fucking Frank Warren. Hardly ever, bro.
Dog.
You see, like I said before, Frank Warren is on that BT Sports shit, and Eddie Hearn is on that Sky Sports, man.
Yeah.
They own stables doing their own thing on different fucking networks, unless there's some type of mandation that happened, or maybe there's, that's why they're still talking about Anthony Yard versus Joshua Buatsi.
Yep, exactly.
And Yard is like, shit, nigga, that fight ain't never happening, basically.
I wrote the article. Anthony Yard said that fight ain't happening without fans. I know that at least.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said, well, the fight ain't happening without fans. I can tell y'all that right now.
Nigga, that means it's not happening.
Exactly.
Right. That's what that shit means.
Yep.
So, and that's the situation. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, basically, to complete Bo's soliloquy, dog, is that Terence Crawford gonna have to move his ass on over there to PBC if he wants to get those big fights that he's talking about, or Bob Arum gonna have to do something.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
A bag of money to solve all that.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. It's always gonna solve all that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, at the end of the fight, the excuses that Bob Arum was making, though, had me thinking that he might not even be looking. I mean, the situation is this, man. He gets to talking about Bud and shit and his skills and none of that shit, man. We don't give a fuck about that, right? We already know how good Bud Crawford
is. Exactly.
But he gets to talking about his skills and shit. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford's this good. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? He could compete with Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. Then he says, none of the welterweights today can compete with Terence Crawford. Then he says Terence Crawford would beat Errol Spence in the same number of rounds he just defeated Kell Brook, which means he would knock Errol Spence out in 4 rounds. We don't give a fuck about that, dog. We don't care about your opinion. We want to hear, yes, I am actively in discussions with PBC to make fight X, Y, and fucking Z. We don't care about you thinking he can fight Roberto Duran. We don't give a fuck about you thinking he can compete with Willie Pep. We don't give a fuck about you thinking he can fight Joe Gans and shit. We don't care. Yeah. We want to hear, can this nigga fight Errol Spence next year? Or at the very least, can he fight a Sean Porter or fucking Keith Thurman, somebody, next year to get himself in position to fight Errol Spence next year? That's what we want to hear. And they dodged all around that fucking question. Instead, they seem to be more concerned with trying to get Kell Brook, and this is Mark Kriegel and shit, right? In this interview, they seem to be more concerned to get Kell Brook to fucking say that Crawford can beat Spence. It seems to me like they're trying to make it seem like, look, man, why would we make the fight when this nigga, we already know this nigga whooped Spence ass? Bob Arum said it. Kell Brook said it, right? And Kell Brook was smart. He didn't say it. Kell Brook was like, oh, man, I got caught by a punch I didn't see. And they were baiting this nigga. Oh, man, come on, man. Can Terence Crawford whoop Errol Spence ass? They didn't say it like that. But they were baiting him into trying to make that concession. And Kell Brook was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Fuck all that other shit. I just got hit by a motherfucking punch I didn't see, bro. Fail, nigga. Make the fight. That's my problem with this shit. Then you got dumbass egghead, pinky in the brain looking ass nigga Tim Bradley. God. This nigga looks just like Brain from the Pinky in the Brain cartoon, man. Looks just like that nigga. What are we gonna do tomorrow? What we do every day, Pinky. We're gonna try to take over the world. That's what this nigga be saying at home, nigga. Brain looking ass nigga, right? Motherfucker gonna talk about. I don't think these fights would ever happen. I don't think, everybody wants to see Terence Crawford fight Errol Spence. Everybody wants to see him fight these PBC fighters. In reality, I don't think none of these fights are going to happen. You know why? Because those guys over there at PBC, and before I continue, this shit pisses me off because now I'm in a position where I'm forced to back up a fucking entity, bro. I don't like being put in positions like that.
I know, right?
At the same
forcing
time,
you to say something good about motherfuckers you don't really care about.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give a fuck about PBC top. I don't give a fuck about none of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? I care about boxing, right? If I got to talk good about a certain entity because it helps boxing, then I'll do that. If I got to talk bad about a certain entity because it helps boxing, then I'll fucking do that too. Doesn't matter to me. I have no dog in this race. I'm not following none of these fucking entities. They don't pay 3kingsboxing.com directly. They don't. I ain't got no paycheck from Top Rank, Matchroom, Frank Warren, ESPN, PBC, Fox, Showtime. None of these niggas is giving me fucking paychecks.
Nope.
So I don't back none of these motherfuckers. You see? But here's the problem. When there's fuck shit that's being said, now I got to come out and say, hey, that's bullshit. Here's why. And my points that I'm making are going to sound like I'm backing a fucking entity. So let me give y'all niggas that disclaimer right now.
That disclaimer got 1 foot from them niggas' ears and evaporated.
You fucking right.
Disclaimer got.
You're dealing with dumb niggas.
Hell yeah, exactly. You wasted your time.
Yeah, you're dealing with dumb niggas. Here's the deal, bro. This motherfucker says, right? I don't think those fights are ever gonna happen because those guys over at PBC, they fight once a year. They fight once a year, and it's especially that guy Errol Spence Jr., whoever he is, he fight once a year. Listen, because he said Terence Crawford is too old. He's already 33. I don't think the fights are gonna happen because the guys fight once a year. Then he goes, Errol Spence is fighting Danny Garcia. That's once this year. Then he's got Sean Porter right after Danny Garcia. That's once next year. Then he's probably gonna fight Keith Thurman. That's once in 2022. Right? He goes off saying all that dumb shit. Right? But then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, hold on, nigga. Errol Spence has fought multiple times this year. Last year, excuse me.
Sure did.
Right?
Sure did.
I even give you a better one. Errol Spence fought twice in 2019, right? Mm-hmm. He fought twice in 2018.
Sure did.
The nigga fought once in 2017, right?
That's when he beat Kell Brooks, I believe, right?
When he beat Kell Brook, yeah.
Okay.
He was basically waiting around. The reason why he only fought one time in 2017 is because he was waiting around because the IBF had already mandated he fight Kell Brook. So he was just waiting around for that fight to happen. And that's when it happened, right?
Yep.
He fought twice in 2016. Then a nigga fought like 5-6 times in 2015. So where the fuck is Tim Bradley getting his information from? Right? At the end of the day, bro, there is no indication. Let me say this. Let me say this too. Before Errol Spence got in his car accident, he was going to fight Danny Garcia January 25th of this year. Right?
Sure was.
So if we go by Tim Bradley's logic, he's basically saying that Errol Spence would have fought Danny Garcia. Let's just say there was no COVID-19 and there was no car accident. By Tim Bradley's dumbass logic, Errol Spence would have fought Danny Garcia January 25th. That fight was already signed, sealed, and delivered. We fucking reported on that. It was going to happen if Errol Spence did get in his car accident. It was going to happen. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay? So he's saying that Errol would have fought Danny Garcia January 25th and proceeded to sit out 11 straight months.
Well, it gets worse than that. It gets worse than that. I want to just correct something my man said here, right here. All right, my man Eric Bowden, he said No,
No,
he
he did
fought
not.
once in 2018. No, he fought
No, he
twice. He
did
fought
not.
Lamont Peterson. You forget
He
he fought
fought
Lamont
Lamont
Peterson.
Peterson. He fought Lamont Peterson and Carlos Ocampo.
Right. So that's twice in 2018. Here's the problem with what he was saying about how many times Earl Spence has fought. The very guy you're talking about fought the same number of times as Earl Spence, with the exception of in 2017, he fought twice. He fought twice in 2019, Terence Crawford. He fought twice in 2018. He fought twice in 2017. Okay. Same goddamn thing. And he fought 3 times in 2016 and a bunch of times in 2015. Earl Spence did the same fucking thing, with the exception of the fact he only fought he only fought once in 2017. So that same dude you're talking about had just as many fights per year as Earl fucking Spence.
Right.
So I mean, hell, let's not stop there. Vasil fucking Lomachenko. That motherfucker fought twice in 2019, twice in 2018, and 3 times in 2017.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay? Twice a year really is what motherfuckers is doing any goddamn way. If we really being honest, twice a year is really what your top echelon fighters are doing any fucking way.
Right.
So what the fuck is Bradley talking about? That's what I want to know this. And I've told y'all this before. Timothy Bradley, 140 will always be my nigga. But Timothy Bradley,
yeah.
okay? After Timothy Sadly, after Pacquiao won, he was my nigga. He was my nigga after Pacquiao. He said, man, fuck y'all. I won that fight. Fuck y'all. I won that fight. You know when Sadly stopped being my nigga? Well, maybe I didn't win that fight. Oh, nigga.
Well, hold on, yo. You fucked that up. So, yeah, when he got them death threats, he was getting death threats on social media, and from what he said, he was getting death threats like via phone calls and emails and shit. So that's what prompted him to go back and watch the fight. And after all them death threats, that's when he said, "Oh, well, maybe I did lose."
What? Then the whole taking Manny Pacquiao out for dinner. Then fired. Wait a minute. Then the nigga fired Diaz because he fought the wrong goddamn game plan against what's that dude named Ruslan Provodnikov. You went in there to prove how tough you was that a boxer almost got knocked the fuck out by Provodnikov, and then you fired Diaz who told you to box. You fired that nigga.
Fired the nigga that gave you the right game plan.
Right, gave you the right game. You fired him.
Oh shit.
You know, and I can tell Timothy Bradley has discovered meat. He's no longer being a vegan. Because remember, Timothy Bradley was a vegetarian, right? He wasn't eating meat when he was boxing. Why the nigga could knock nobody out? Right. Now the nigga that found meat, he blowing the fuck up. Like, look at this nigga, dog. He can't fit his suit no more. That nigga look like a milk dud dressed up. He just look like
a fat ass nigga, dog. This nigga look like he stores ham hocks in his coat pockets.
I'm telling you,
That's
man.
What he look like. Niggas be like, I'm hungry. Be like, oh shit, I got this piece of chicken right here, man. That's what he look like. Fat ass nigga.
Yes. But I'm just saying, man, you want to tell me about PBC fighters fight once a year. I haven't seen Artur Beterbiev. Hello? The nigga fought twice in 2019. I haven't seen Artur Beterbiev. Jose Ramirez, same thing. He fought twice last year, twice the year before that. I'm just saying.
At the end of the day, he spoke as if top-ranked fighters, and of course we're talking about the top of the crop, right?
Yes.
He spoke as if the cream of the crop at top rank are just uber active, nigga. These niggas fighting like Sugar Ray Robinson was fighting back then.
Yes.
You know, fight a nigga beginning of April, then fight a nigga into April. He's acting like top ranked fighters do that shit. Y'all motherfuckers are just as active as PBC fighters.
Yep.
The activity is the same, right? It's just a bullshit narrative that Tim Bradley tries to push. It's basically propaganda that he pushes on the casual fans, and being a casual fan is not a bad thing. No, you know, some YouTubers out there have coined, you know, being a casual fan is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, bro. A casual fan is somebody who watches boxing on occasion, right?
Yeah.
Or it could mean a fan that is starting to watch boxing that's trying to get to the point where they want to watch it every fucking weekend or every weekday that it comes on, right? That's a casual fan.
You know, kind of like me and MMA.
Yeah, me too. Right. I used to be a heavy MMA fan until I started losing bets over some bad fucking decisions. So I stopped watching it after that.
Stop watching this shit.
But at the end of the day, right, he's over there telling the casual fan, he's pushing propaganda to the casual fan that doesn't know any better, man. That's why he needs to be fucking removed. I understand that these motherfuckers are paid to speak, but you can look at his counterpart in fucking Andre Ward, and he doesn't do this. I think Andre Ward had one blow up, and I can't even remember what it was for. You know what I'm saying? He had like one blow up. I can't even remember what it was for.
I think it's you talking about when he was kind of disappointed in Earl Spence stalling out Terence Crawford.
No. Oh. Andre Ward didn't have a blow up for that. That was Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley. These PBC guys will never step up. This was like months ago, last year. They'll never step up to the plate. They're ducking my man Terence. Man, shut the fuck up, nigga. Go grease your goddamn bald head, nigga. Fuck out of here. Andre Ward has never done that, bro. He blew up for some reason on, I don't remember what it was, but he had one blow up. Had nothing to do with PBC, right? But his counterpart, sometimes I don't agree with what Andre Ward says, but at the end of the day, right, this motherfucker is fair and balanced. You're not going to get Andre Ward to say no bullshit like that, right? Maybe Tim Bradley's the entertainment factor. I don't know, bro. But we don't need that to be entertained during these broadcasts. Actually, I was entertained when they were clowning that Tyler Howard fight. You know what I'm saying? The Tyler Howard versus Keandre Leatherface, whatever that nigga's name is. That shit was hilarious. They were clowning the fuck out this nigga. I didn't need no bias analysis to be entertained listening to these niggas clown Keandre Leatherface. You know what I'm saying? That shit was funny as fuck, nigga. So I don't need Tim Bradley trying to push propaganda on the same audience, right, that would visit 3kingsboxing.com to read articles to get to know the sport better, right? Because those people that he's pushing propaganda to are the same people who are my customers. You see what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So that's exactly why I will not hesitate to go at these motherfuckers. And I don't care if they get this goddamn clip. They can get it. Tim Bradley needs to get his sorry ass removed from commentating. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about half the time. And the other half, it's a biased ass opinion that I'm not willing to listen to. Exactly. Gotta turn my fucking TV down when he's talking. Dude just gonna sit there and say some bullshit talking about PBC fighters fight once a year, and this Errol Spence guy is going to wait out Terence Crawford until he's like 35, 36, 37 years old and shit. What? Even though your guy that you're bootlicking for, Bob Arum, you've been licking this nigga's boots ever since you lost the second Manny Pacquiao fight. Been licking this nigga's boots. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Spit shine, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Bob Arum sits on the motherfucking seat. Here come Tim Bradley spit shining that nigga's boots, right? You've been doing that since your first loss to Manny Pacquiao.
He spit shines the seat first.
Matter of fact, I take that back, bro. Right, he do, right? I take that shit back. It wasn't since the first loss to fucking Manny Pacquiao, right? It was right after this nigga got his ass whooped by Ruslan Provodnikov. Yep. That's when it was. Because he got the Marquez fight, then he got the Pacquiao fight. Then he tried to stray away for a little bit, right? And then he felt the power of Bob Arum against Diego Chavez. Then when he felt that power of Bob Arum, because he whooped Diego Chavez's ass. The whole world did, that. And that fight ended up in a split draw. I don't know how the fuck you get a draw out of that. That's the power of Bob Arum. So when he felt that power, this nigga is a life. This nigga has given, listen, Bo, this nigga has given Bob Arum a lifetime warranty for spit shining this nigga's shoes, bro. That nigga got a lifetime warranty with Tim Bradley, bro. They're like, hey, Bob, you want to go over and get your shoes shined? Why the fuck would I? Sorry. Why the fuck would I do that when I could just go over to Tim Bradley's house and get it done for free?
Dog, do you realize Tim Bradley first commentating job at ESPN was commentating the fight of a man that sent him into retirement?
Oh, and he was, bro.
And he was only too happy to do
it. Giving that man verbal fellatio, bro. The whole fight, my nigga. Oh, Manny Pacquiao. Oh, I was like, God damn, is this nigga having a fucking orgasm? Did Manny Pacquiao touch Tim Bradley's clitoris, nigga? This nigga fondling Manny Pacquiao was fondling Tim Bradley's clitoris. Real talk. That's how he was fucking commentating this nigga's fight.
Yes, he was.
Basically making him look. He basically beta mailed himself, my nigga. Yeah, man. When he fought me and hit me with one of those left hands, I said, "Whoa, man! Oh man, never been hit like that before." Am I doing good, sir? Master Arum, am I doing good, sir?
Yes.
Fuck out of here. You see what I'm saying? So why would we want this guy being the voice, right, of one of our outlets for this fucking sport that we all love? Why would we want that? He needs to be removed.
Yeah, he
100%.
does. And wait a minute, and being a former fighter doing that's what really makes it bad. Okay? Sergio Marta is a former fighter. I don't see him doing that over at the Zone.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing it over. I don't see him doing it over the Zone. Right? Being a former fighter doing that, that's what makes it bad. And then on top, see, this is the thing with it about me. If it's just a commentator doing it, I can write that off because you know what? That's one thing. You don't fucking know no better. Okay? Because you're a commentator. You don't fucking know no better. Your job is to do that. Timothy Bradley been in that ring. Timothy Bradley's a former fucking fighter. He knows better. That's the part that upsets me.
Yeah.
You're up here spreading bullshit about fighters and you fucking know better because you as a fighter is pushing the agenda. So Timothy Bradley, right? You know how sometimes they say, oh, well, you on the other side. And sometimes the athlete say, wait a minute, just because I'm on the other side, I haven't forgotten how it feels to be a fighter. I'm always fighting first or athlete first, right? Timothy Bradley, like, no. I've always top ranked. It's when I shit, my doodle comes out top rank. When I shit, that's how he is, man. Timothy Bradley, when Timothy Bradley home and he fucks his wife, and he goes say my name, she says top rank. He loves it.
Damn! Say my name, Bob Arum. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, bro.
Yes. I'm just saying, dog, with the way he's doing that, that shit, the shit, it's sickening to see a fighter do that.
It really is.
It's sickening to see a fighter do that because at the end of the day, listen, man, I'm gonna say it again. If it's a fan or a commentator and all that shit, man, listen, man, I get that, man. That's what these motherfuckers do. But when you see former fighters and former trainers doing that, just making it, only fight once a year. Well, on your side, they doing the same fucking thing. What are you talking about? Most champions, like my man said earlier, I can't remember who said it. Most champions are gonna fight once a year.
Yep.
And that's just the reality. Floyd set that standard. Most of these motherfuckers, they're gonna fight once a fucking year. Yep. Okay. And normally when they fight twice a year, they fight two big fights or one big fight, one whatever, and that's it. But they give you one big fight. That's why they do it. So right. That's just normal. That's normal. But he stood up and that Earl Spence, whoever he is, you know who Earl Spence is. He's the motherfucker that made you dip your ass out the sport when the WBC ordered you to fight that nigga.
Boom! God damn, bro. Hit him with that explosion. What was that again, bro? What happened?
He's the motherfucker that tried telling us since when was we doing business with PBC back then? That same month in December when the WBC ordered that fight, Terence Crawford fought John Molina Jr., my nigga.
Damn, nigga.
That same fucking month.
He said he didn't give a fuck about belts. That's how much he was trying to duck Errol Spence, bro.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'll give you another one. Because again, this is what about this nigga I don't like. When it was announced that Keith Thurman was going to fight Danny Garcia, and I think that was a unification matchup, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because I think Danny was the WBC champion.
Yeah.
They asked
Robert Guerrero.
Right. They asked this nigga about that fight. He said that fight not gonna happen. They said, why you think it's not gonna happen? You see a contract? Nigga, when do we ever see fighters' contracts?
Oh my God.
Fuck is you talking about? When do we ever see fighters' contract, Timothy?
You know.
Hold on, wait a minute. It gets better, 2K. Then they asked Timothy, because he was active then. Would you fight the winner? They said, for what? For 2 belts. What I need 2 belts for? Sanctioning fees? Well, I'm sorry you didn't feel that way when you was down there at 140 pounds being unified. You didn't feel that way. You didn't feel that way about being.
Yep. It mattered when it came to the name that he had to face to be able to get there.
Yes.
That's when it mattered.
Yes.
And it's ironic to me that he's basically accusing the same guy, right? And I listen, I agree with PBC freezing Terence Crawford out. I 100% agree with it. But what you guys got to understand is that Terence Crawford killed that argument, man. He came out and said out of his own fucking mouth, there is no such thing as the other side of the street. He said that himself. So when he said that, all you niggas out there that was basically supporting Terence Crawford and saying, oh man, you know, PBC freezing that nigga out, including myself, we had to wake up and be like, well, we can't use that argument anymore because he didn't allow us to use it anymore.
Yep. Well, now that that's out the way, here's what.
Right. As if you come to me, exactly. As if you come to me, you know, you in an argument with a nigga, and you like, man, that nigga 2K 36 years old. Nigga, fuck you, nigga. I know the nigga. He 36. And I come to you and say, nah, nigga, I'm 34. Well, you can no longer argue. I just killed your argument for you.
Yep.
See? That's what he did. So I do not want to hear anybody else talking about PBC freezing them out because Terence Crawford himself said they're not doing that. So at the end of the day, when he did that, like I said, that killed that fucking argument, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But also, we understand that realistically, they were freezing them out.
Exactly.
We just got to keep it to ourselves now.
Yeah.
We got to keep shit to ourselves. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. So at the end of the day, I was on that until he killed the fucking argument. Then I left it alone. But then I started seeing these other guys actually trying to fight Bud Crawford that were PBC fighters.
Yes.
We have interviews from our affiliates that have talked to Bob Arum where he explicitly stated, we are currently in negotiations to make an Errol Spence fight. Matter of fact, they were supposed to make it this year. If Errol Spence didn't get in his car accident and there wasn't a pandemic, we might have seen Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence this year, around this time, actually. Bob Arum said that last year.
Sure
so
did.
They were already negotiating this shit, man. Right?
Yep.
But then you got those other guys, you know, Ugas, Thurman, and Porter. Those guys were going to fight him. And he ignored them. That was his choice. So I can't back him anymore when it comes to getting frozen out. Besides the fact that he killed the argument his damn self, now you got niggas out here calling him out. And you got basically those same people were calling him out saying, Al Heyman said we can fight.
Yep.
And then I'm looking at Terence Crawford's reactions and he's ignoring them or not basically doing a counter offer when an offer was made, right? I'm looking at Bud like, nigga, the ball's in your court. And his response was, no, nigga, I'm fighting Kell Brook. That was his response, basically. So I can't back him anymore for that type of shit, man.
No, you can't. And then on top of that, listen, let's make it very, very clear. When Sean Porter's name came up, I heard a lot of people talking about something. What do he need to fight Porter for? He don't need to fight Porter. Porter just came off of a loss. Sean Porter in defeat was better Outside of Jeff Horn, he was better than anybody else this nigga fought. And the only reason why I'm saying outside of Jeff Horn because Jeff Horn was the champion. So I'm not going to say Sean Porter in defeat was better than him fighting the champion.
Hold on a second. Ms. Allen, when you came to my channel and you clicked on this video, look at the description. It specifically says at the bottom, listener discretion is advised. Since you can't read, I will get your ass out of here for you. Go ahead, Bo.
Okay. So the nigga, make sure I say that. So the nigga, so niggas was telling me about how what he needs to fight Sean Porter for. And I was saying, dog, Sean Porter in defeat is better than anybody that this motherfucker was going to fight. Sean Porter in defeat, goddamn it, got more popular in defeat than Terence Crawford did in victory when he fought Mean Machine. Sean Porter's stock rose in that fight. I said, but then on top, if you look at boxing, that's been the sport. If a guy has a competitive fight and lose, you put him in another championship fight. Andrew Galata did it. It happened to fucking Amir Khan. Happened to Badu goddamn Jack. Hell, it happened to Miguel Mariaga. I can keep on going on and on and on and on and on. That's what sport of boxing is. And they was on, he don't need no Sean Porter. He don't need Sean Porter. What the fuck? I'm like, okay, so you telling me beating Sean Porter is not going to help this motherfucker? Like he gets in there with Sean Porter, he beats him, and we're going to be like, oh, well, that means nothing. No, that's not what we're going to say.
Exactly.
Right? Then your point about Keith Thurman. Understand, if you wanted to tell me it's Corona, cool. But Terence Crawford himself said, and I keep telling y'all this, he said, why should I take a pay cut? I'm not taking no pay cut.
Right.
So if Terence Crawford himself is saying, y'all got to pay me more to get me fight with no fans. So if Terence Crawford himself said that, then you can't expect Keith Thurman to negotiate with you like it's a pandemic. He's going to negotiate you like it's real shit. But the bottom line was, I know why y'all didn't make the fight. Why? Because if you're going to make that fight, when you don't want to make it with no fans in the stands because you ain't going to maximize your dollars. That's why you don't make the fight. Just come out and say that. Because Danny Garcia and Earl Spence is happening in Texas. Gervonta Davis and motherfucking Leo Santa Cruz. Where that fight happened at 2K?
You said what?
I said Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. Where did that fight happen at?
San Antonio.
Yep. With what? Fans.
Yep.
Okay. So I know the reason why you was like, hey man, we can't entertain Keith Thurman with the 10 million. Because if we even negotiate with him, give him 6, niggas could afford. That's what the fuck it was.
That's exactly what it was, man. Exactly, man. So at the end of the day, before we transition over to Teofimo Lopez, man, at the end of the day, it looks like to me, Terence Crawford just needs to go on ahead and sign with PBC. He's going to give Bob Arum the benefit of the doubt. As what it looked like to me, Bob Arum is trying to do everything he can to convince fans that Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford is a fight that doesn't need to be made. Bud Crawford has said himself he doesn't need to fight Errol Spence because he's going to the Hall of Fame. That's his quote. That's what that came out of his own mouth, or at least that came out of his fingers on Twitter, right? So he said, I don't need Errol Spence. They need me. I'm already going to the Hall of Fame. You know, Bob Arum tonight made it seem like Errol Spence is just this bum-ass nigga that Terence Crawford would run over. Why the fuck they got to make that fight, right? But at the end of the day, that's what your fighter wants. He wants that fight. He wants to be undisputed at 147 as well. That'll make him a 2-division undisputed champion, bro. We haven't seen that in a very long time. You see what I'm saying? So he wants that opportunity. You got to do it for him. We'll see. He's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. If shit doesn't work out, the only option he has, go to PBC. Fights will immediately get made, bro.
Yep.
All right, man. This last one, man, we're going to spend the next, 20, 30 minutes on Teofimo Lopez, man. Look, bro, this is the reason why, as I said, I don't have a dog in any race, right? I don't run. As we say, we don't run. Three Kings Boxing does not run. Nigga, if I find out anybody in my staff runs with an entity, they immediately get removed. You know what I'm saying? It's happened before. We don't run with any fucking entity, man. All right? We don't care about what Teofimo Lopez does, says, etc. However, if it affects boxing, that's when we got to talk about it. Okay? Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, right? They run their careers however they want to run it. But you're not going to sit there and tell me that you're not going to fight a guy who's a champion in your division right now, he can't fight you until 3 to 5 years from today. That was his quote. Devin Haney can't get a shot until 3 to 5 years. Huh? Nigga, you have 3 belts. That franchise shit don't count to me. You have 3 belts. He has 1. Y'all fight. The winner is undisputed champion. How is it that he needs 3 to 5 years to get a shot with you when he's holding one of the trinkets that is keeping you from achieving the utmost status that you can have in boxing? I just don't understand that. And this is why. This is why, Bo. This is why I did not want Teofimo Lopez to get a hold of those belts. I knew he was going to do this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care, like, in terms of skill and, you know, who wins the fight. I didn't give a fuck about that between him and Vasil, right? But I know Vasil's track record. Vasil is fighting everybody. The only problem is he didn't fight Devin Haney, but that was Bob Arum, again, that blocked that fight.
Yes,
Bob Arum blocking fights, he blocked that one. When Devin Haney was his mandatory, Bob Arum said, that's not a fight we're looking to make. He flat out said that. So Bob Arum blocked Vasil Lomachenko versus Devin Haney. Vasil would have fought him. He fought Teofimo Lopez with no problem. Why wouldn't he fight Devin Haney? He has been trying to fight Gervonta Davis. Tank's been ducking that nigga since 130. He'll fight anybody. We already know this about Vasil Lomachenko, okay? What we didn't know was if Teofimo Lopez would be that same person. I put my money on no. And that's why I didn't want him to take these titles. Seems like I was right again.
Yep.
Because if he's got 3 titles in the same division as another champion that's holding the last title that keeps you from being undisputed, right? Not undisputed with an asterisk, but undisputed, right? And you're saying, oh, that nigga can't get a shot with me until 3 to 5 years. That tells me that you don't give a fuck about the big fights anymore because you got your one big fight now.
Yes, sir.
You had one guy that you were looking at in Vasil Lomachenko and said, I'm the king. That's what he's doing, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm the king. That's it. I'm the king. And then other niggas that are in the same level, right, skill-wise, they're like, hey, man, fight us. He's like, nope. I'm the king. Nope. Not fight nobody. Nope. I'm going to just hold these belts. You know what I'm saying? Like Floyd Mayweather did with the WBA title at 154. I'm just holding it. About to hold this shit, nigga.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I'm saying?
Lonnie and Charlo like, look here, man. This nigga gotta make a decision.
Yeah.
This nigga hold up 154. What the fuck?
Nigga, Laura went to the principal's. Laura and Jamal at the time went to the principal's office and told, nigga, look, man, this nigga, come on, man, y'all gotta get this nigga out of here, man.
He holding up the gym line. He holding up the lunch line.
Exactly.
We can't get our lunch.
Exactly. Bottom line, this is a top contender in your division that holds a trinket, bro.
Yep.
Why are you telling a top? It doesn't. And I tell niggas all the time, it doesn't matter if the WBC belt was mailed to him via UPS, FedEx, US Postal, nigga. It doesn't matter. Emailed. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, Vasil Lomachenko's team made the decision to forego giving Devin Haney a shot at the WBC title and relinquished the belt for a tag called franchise champion. That's what they did. You can't put that on Devin Haney. That's Vasil Lomachenko and Bob Arum's fault.
Yep.
And Aegis Clemus. You know what I'm saying? Get his ass in there too. He the manager. Get him in there too. Right? It's their fucking fault. You can't blame Devin Haney for that. Now, me personally, I'd have been like, man, I don't want this fucking belt, nigga. Let me fight Luke Campbell or somebody for that belt. I would have said that, bro. I'm just a man about my shit. I don't want shit given to me, bro. You see what I'm saying? A nigga can't even pay for my motherfucking dinner, nigga, let alone give me a belt.
I know that. I know that personally.
Right.
Yeah, I know that personally.
Exactly. You know, a nigga can't even pay my way into a movie theater, nigga, let alone give me a fucking belt. Right? So I would have been like, nah, I don't want that. I'm the number 1 contender. Have me fight the number 2 contender. I'll whoop that nigga ass and win the belt the right way. That's what I would have said if I was Devin Haney.
Yep.
However, even though I disagree with how he went about getting the title, I can't blame him for doing that because the option was given to him to do that.
Yep.
So I can't get mad at Devin Haney for taking that option. Y'all gave it to the nigga, man. So you must treat him as a champion. Oh, and by the way, he has defended the title twice. You must treat him as a champion. You didn't say he needed to defend the title against a top-level guy. We all know Devin Haney ain't really fought nobody. We all know this, right?
Yep.
Yuri Yorgis Gamboa was a done fighter with a fucking torn Achilles. We already know. He ain't fought nobody. However, the stipulations did not say if you really want to be the WBC champion, you got to fight a top 5 guy, like somebody that matters at this point in their career at 135. Stipulations didn't say that. He defended his title twice. I think one was a mandatory that nobody knew his fucking name. Nope. Can't even say his name now. Was it Ralph Macchio, the nigga from Karate Kid? You know what I'm saying?
Right. No shit.
This nigga fought Ralph Macchio, nigga, right? But at the end of the day, you can't blame Devin Haney for them giving him the WBC title. You can blame him for his resume, but you can't blame him for them giving the WBC title. Now he needs to be seen as a champion, and that's what he is. So how are you, Tio, going to tell a champion that he can't fight you until 3 to 5 years? That tells me you don't give a fuck about legacy. It was just all about showing the world that you could best Vasyl Lomachenko. I bet you Teofimo Lopez used to jack off to Vasyl Lomachenko, bro. I think he did, bro. I think the nigga used to watch Vasyl fight. You know, he was beating up Gary Russell, and Nicholas Walters at the time, and Miguel Mariaga at the time. And I really believe the nigga had a hard on, nigga. He just jacking off, nigga, watching Vasyl Lomachenko. I really believe this, bro. How the fuck can you just get that one fight and just say fuck everybody else after you've successfully done what you said you were going to do? It doesn't stop right there, Tio. Now we're expecting you to fight the best all the time because you got 3 belts. Nigga, when you drop those belts and move to 140, we're expecting you to fight the best all the time because you beat a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter.
Yep.
You have fucked yourself now, nigga. If you thought it was going to be smooth selling after beating Vasyl Lomachenko, nigga, you have fucked yourself, dog. It ain't smooth selling, nigga. Now it's time to man up and fight all the top niggas. We don't care that you're only 15-0, whatever it is. We don't give a fuck about that.
Yep.
Now it's time to fight all the top guys. We saw you beat a top 3 pound-for-pound guy in like your 15th fight, right? Now we want to see you fight all the top niggas. You can get a tune-up in between there, kind of like what Sean Porter did with Sebastian Formella, right?
Yep.
You can do that. He fought like 3 or 4 top niggas in a row and then got a tune-up with Sebastian Formella. We don't mind that. But you got to fight like 3, 4 top niggas in a row. You fucked yourself. It ain't smooth selling unless you're just going to retire. If you retire, that's fine. Legacy, not really shit. You beat one guy. Right? Richard Comey to me is a B- C+ level fighter. He was a champion. You get credit for that. You beat a champion at the time. But when we evaluate your resume, let's say he retired right now because he doesn't want to fight anybody. We evaluate your fucking resume. We're just going to see that you beat Vasyl Lomachenko and a former champion. We won't even name the nigga. He beat Vasyl Lomachenko and a former champion.
Vasyl Lomachenko.
That's it.
And a former champion.
And a former champion. That's it. Not enough to get in the Hall of Fame or anything like that. No, sir. So what are you going to do? If you're going to continue fighting, we need you to fight Devin Haney, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, right?
Yes.
If you're going to go to 140, okay, that's fine. Need you to fight Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, Regis Prograis.
Jack Catterall.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying, Bo? Oh, you going to go to 147? You don't want to go for, okay, 147. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao, Mike Garcia. You need to fight all those guys. Yep.
I need to see food. I need to see food on this plate.
Exactly. You are on the Three Kings top 10 pound for pound list at number 6. Now you got to fight those guys. You ain't fighting anymore Yakatanis or whatever fucking nigga's name is. I don't even remember the dudes he fought. Diego Magdaleno.
Yeah, Mason Menard.
Mason Menard.
He fought Mason Menard after Devin Haney fought.
After Devin Haney did, yeah. You know what I'm saying? No more of that. No. We're done with that. You can have one of those, like I said, after you've fought, Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, and Regis Prograis. Then you can fight, Diego Magdaleno again. Sure. Get you a little rest. That's what these fighters are not understanding, dog.
No.
You see? So this whole fuck shit about 3 to 5 years, negative. Needs to be like next year, nigga. And us as fans, we need to be saying that shit. I'll do my part on 3kingsboxing.com, right?
Yeah, and that'll be it.
yeah, right. Me and Bo and the rest of the staff, we're gonna do our part on 3kingsboxing.com. We have a super broad audience. So we'll say, listen, he needs to fight Devin Haney. We will write that in our articles. Or it don't even have to be Devin Haney. He needs to start thinking about fighting top level guys all the time now. We'll put that in our articles. No fucking problem.
Yep. And just like we call him unified champion. We don't call him undisputed.
We don't call him undisputed at 3 Kings Boxing. Absolutely not. You can't find an article on 3kingsboxing.com referencing Teofimo Lopez as an undisputed champion. If you see it, let me know so I can go remove that.
Right. And reprimand the motherfucker that wrote that article.
Exactly. And reprimand the motherfucker that wrote that article. Exactly, Bo. Right. Let me know. But we don't refer to Teofimo as an undisputed champion. He's not. Not an undisputed champion. He does not have the hardware to be an undisputed champion. He only has 3 belts. You need 4.
Yes, you do.
Right? So at the end of the day, we're going to do our part and say in our articles about Teofimo Lopez, any article in which he's talking this fuck shit like he did today, or it was today, right? Yeah, today.
Yep.
Right? And we see him, 3 to 5, 10 years from now, I'll fight Ryan Garcia. Okay. We're going to say what we need to say in that article. But you fans, you need to do your part now. Your domain is social media. Get on social media and call this fuck shit out. Stop being fanboys. Y'all know this ain't right. The guy that gave, here it is, Bo. If you're a Teofimo Lopez fanboy, right? The guy that gave your favorite fighter his shot did not do this. Vasily Lomachenko should have been like, I'll fight the nigga 6, 7, 8 years from now. He ain't fought nobody but Richard Cole, man. Vasily Lomachenko was in the same belt. He had the WBA, WBO, WBC franchise tag. That's what he had, right?
Yep.
So he really had 2 belts instead of 3. Teo had IBF and Devin had WBC. Vasil could have easily been like, I'm not fighting Teofimo Lopez right now. I'll get a nigga 8 years from now. I'll fight him. So you saying fuck boys out there that are fanboys of Teofimo Lopez that are okay with this dumbass statement are not understanding that your favorite fighter and your God that you worship in Teofimo Lopez, right, was giving the opportunity that he's not willing to give Devin Haney to even get in the position to where he could do that to Devin Haney.
Yep.
You're being a hypocrite. But they don't give a fuck about that, bro. Because you're really dealing with a bunch of fuckhead-ass beta male niggas. That's really what you're dealing with. And these niggas are stupid, bro. They don't give a fuck if they're hypocritical, right?
No, they don't.
They don't give a fuck if they can say some shit in one group and then say something to totally contradict what they just said in another group. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how stupid these motherfuckers are, man. And as long as these stupid motherfuckers run the majority of the fan base in boxing, we are not going to get the big fights we're trying to get. So what's going to happen?
Well, I'm going to take a little bit deeper than that. What's Teofimo Lopez's record?
It's like 15-0 or some shit, man.
Okay. 15-0. Bet. I think Vasily Lomachenko record is 14-2, so that's 16 fights, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vasily Lomachenko himself in 16 fights did not do what Teofimo Lopez is talking about.
Yep.
Vasily Lomachenko himself was out there running gauntlets. Guillermo Rigondeaux, Jorge Linares, Luke Campbell. Okay? Vasily Lomachenko himself was out here fighting top dudes.
From day one.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
From day one, bro.
Vasyl Lomachenko himself was doing that, Teofimo. Vasyl Lomachenko himself left a division because he couldn't get fights with motherfuckers. It's all right, man, I'm out. I can't get a unification. I'm done. I'm out.
Yep.
So the guy you took the belt off of wasn't even talking the way you're talking. And here's what bothers me too. Okay. For the sake of argument, because he's saying that I'm going to be doing the heavy lifting in the Devin Haney fight with as far as fans, because I did the heavy lifting in the bring the fans for the Lomachenko fight, which I don't know where the fuck he got that from, since there was no fans in the stands.
He said that?
Yes, he did.
Oh, jeez, man.
Yes, he did. His words was that fight doesn't bring revenue because I'm going to do a lot of the heavy lifting just like I did with Loma. Which I don't know why. First, I don't know why you think that, because Loma does have a lot of fans. If you think I'm bullshitting, before you fought Loma, all you got to do is check and type in Loma Salido and look at how many motherfuckers is trying to devalue that loss because of what Salido did.
Right.
Right. Okay. Right. Then on top of that, you had no fans in the stands anyway. So what fucking heavy lifting did you have to do? There were no fans in the stands, my nigga.
Yeah, literally the fan base was all, cyber.
Yeah.
Niggas watching this shit on computers, TV, phone, whatever.
Right. So there was no fans in the stands. But here's a bigger problem I have. He's trying to say pretty much that Haney don't bring none to the table. Okay, for the sake of fucking argument, for those of you that's calling this nigga undisputed, bet when he fights somebody with their undisputed, what the fuck are they bringing to the table? If he fights someone in one of the ranking systems, what the fuck are they bringing to the table then? If you're telling me Haney don't bring none to the table, bet when you go to make a defense, what the fuck are them niggas bringing to the table, Teofimo? So your next fight, if I'm going off what you're saying, better be a nigga with a title.
Better be.
That's what your next fight better be.
But he said Devin Haney got 6 years or 5 years, whatever.
Yeah,
so I guess it ain't at one. I guess it's at 140.
Yeah.
But problem there is you got you're on the verge of getting an undisputed champion.
Yeah.
So and when those guys become undisputed, right?
Yep.
Both of them said they're going to 147 immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but
I don't think that's gonna happen.
It don't happen. But here's another problem I have with what Teofimo Lopez says, because a lot of times I think fighters say things they don't think. So basically, he's trying to say that Devin Haney ain't got a fan base. People ain't gonna want to see the fight. Okay, bet, no problem. Guillermo Rigondeaux was a fighter that everybody say was a boring fighter. Nobody wants to see him fight. But for whatever reason, when Guillermo Rigondeaux was signed on to fight Lomachenko, everybody ran their ass to watch that fucking fight.
Sure did.
This boring fucking fight everybody told me about, everybody ran to watch this motherfucker fight.
Yep.
You know why that happened? Because when you actually make a fight a good fight, fans talk shit, but they know what a good fight is. Okay? Fans talk a lot of shit, but they know what a good fight is. Motherfuckers that was shitting on PBC were the same motherfuckers that helped Gervonta Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz get over 200,000 buys for that fucking pay-per-view. Okay? Motherfuckers that's talking shit about Earl Spence, fuck Earl Spence, he ain't fighting Terence Crawford. You guys are going to buy him and Danny Garcia.
Them motherfuckers bought Jamal and Jamel's pay-per-view.
Yeah. Okay.
And they hate them.
And they hate them. Right? At the end of the day, just like Andre Ward. Oh, fuck Andre Ward. I don't like him. Oh, when that nigga signed on to fight Kovalev, and Kovalev had no fan base at all. So you had two niggas with no fan base had the shit buzzing for motherfuckers to watch that fight.
Yep.
So this whole, I'm going to be doing the heavy lifting. Teofimo Lopez understands something. When fights are announced, you really don't have to. Certain fights get announced, there's no heavy lifting for you to do. It's just train, do your interviews, and show the fuck up. But how can you say that you'll do the heavy lifting when Devin Haney is on social media clowning all these motherfuckers? It ain't like Devin Haney ain't out here. He just quiet, ain't saying nothing. Devin Haney, every time you say something about him, he responds back to what you say, Teofimo. He's clowning all these motherfuckers. Devin Haney was out there talking about some, hey, Tank, you want to fight? Tank talking shit. He's like, hey, funny how when motherfuckers ask this question, you get an answer, but no. Same thing with Adrian Broner. Same thing with Ryan Garcia. So it ain't, I mean, Devin Haney's on social media doing it. I mean, when he was hurt, that nigga had more time than a motherfucker.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out everything you saying it's not adding up to me, because if you saying there's no revenue, okay, bet. Who is it you can fight right now that's going to be more revenue than Devin Haney then?
I mean, it unless he fights Tank Davis, right?
Right.
I mean, listen, and here, and I'm not even saying this to basically answer that question that you just mentioned. I'm just saying, if he's not fighting Tank Davis, you know, I don't really care too much about Ryan Garcia because he really hasn't proven himself yet. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, if he's not fighting Tank Davis next, besides Devin Haney, I really don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not interested.
But exactly. That's my point. Unless you're telling me it's Tank, okay. But outside, but we know, but we already know you're not gonna fight Tank, and Floyd not gonna make that fight. Floyd ain't making that fight right now. Tank just came off a spectacular knockout. Floyd gonna capitalize on that before he look at something like that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you don't got that, but so okay. Then when you go to 140, I'm just trying to figure out if Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor move up to 147. Well, who at 140 is bringing in the revenue you're talking about?
Nobody.
Because Regis Prograis is going to be going by the time you get there.
Yep.
All right. Maurice Hooker, he's already at 147. So who the fuck at 140 is bringing in this revenue you're talking about? So what are you? So what are you really saying? Are you really going to sit there and tell me that a dude that when I go to the WBC website, they show his picture as champion? Matter of fact, when Devin Haney fought Gamboa, it said the WBC lightweight champion. That's what it said. It didn't say secondary. You know,
interim,
you
silver,
know?
Diamond,
right? You know what I'm saying? Number 2 guy under number 1.
Number 2 guy under, right? You just and I trust you. I know you're right.
Right.
I know you're right.
It did
you know
say
what I'm
that.
saying? No. What I'm saying is, I know you're correct. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm looking right now. I just clicked on lightweight, WBCboxing.com, went under champions and ratings, clicked on lightweight, and sure enough, Devin Haney's picture is there. Well, wait a minute. I thought franchise champion was the top one.
Well, if you look right below Devin Haney's picture, you
see
where it says franchise.
I see it. And it doesn't even have Teofimo Lopez there. It still says Vasyl Lomachenko.
Okay. So there you go. Right?
Oh, my God.
As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Devin Haney came to the ring with the original green belt. The belt Teofimo Lopez got said franchise on the belt.
Check this out. These niggas got Devin Haney's picture up here as the legit WBC lightweight champion, right?
Yep.
They have Vasyl Lomachenko listed as franchise champion. They have Teofimo listed as IBF and Vasyl listed as WBO. However, if you go to the rankings, number 1 is Vasyl Lomachenko. See how stupid they are at WBC? How the fuck do you first? What the problem is, they updated their rankings, but they didn't update their champions. That's how stupid they are there, bro. So you're trying to tell me that I'm supposed to go with this whole new franchise tag shit and naming an undisputed champion? Man, fuck that. And these niggas can't even get their website correct. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Exactly. The WBC president, the nigga that runs the business, can't even give me a thorough explanation of what franchise means?
Nope.
I'm not running with that. I don't give a fuck who says what. Fans run boxing, not the organization. Y'all allow them to, and that's the problem. But if the fans didn't watch boxing, guess what? No money is made. That's why fans run the sport. So y'all need to start talking, man.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying, Look, he needs to grow. He's there, but he's not there yet. Hold on, wait a minute. What the fuck you mean he's not there yet? The nigga's the champion. The nigga was the number one contender to Vasil before he got franchised. So what do you? I'm just trying. I'm trying to understand and make sense of what he's saying, because everything you're saying, the counter argument to me is, okay, then who else outside of this dude does everything you're talking about this nigga don't do? If you're not talking about Tank Davis.
He already beat the top guy. I mean, who else is there? I mean, Ryan Garcia has a social media following. You can't really translate that into selling tickets, and views, right?
Right.
You can't translate that into that. So realistically, I mean, who is he talking about? You're right. You already beat the top guy there.
Right. So unless you're telling me you're going to go to 140 to collect belts, because that's really what you would have to do. But if you go to 140 when those guys dip out, you're probably going to fight a guy for a belt that's not going to bring the revenue that you're telling me Devin Haney don't bring in.
Absolutely. He's going to fight guys that don't have the same clout. They don't even have similar clout as Ryan Garcia, honestly. 140 is dry without outside of Regis Prograis, Jose Ramirez, and fucking Josh Taylor. It's dry there.
Dry.
You see, we're looking at Jack Catterall and Jose Zepeda. Those are the two niggas that's going to be moving up now, right? Like in terms of the guys that are running the division, whenever Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor, and Regis Prograis leave, it's going to be Jack Catterall and Jose Zepeda. Two top niggas in the division. That division's dry as fuck.
Nigga, Ivan Baranchik, who Jose Zepeda knocked the fuck out, might win a belt.
Yeah, he already did once.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one. Won IBF at one point. He can win another one. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, I don't get his logic either. I don't understand.
No,
unless he jumping 2 weight classes straight into 147, then I would understand.
No,
but they didn't say they were doing that. They said 140.
Nope.
So I don't know, man. Bottom line is, just cut the fuck shit out, man.
Exactly.
This shit's not going by nobody. Stop being a diva, bro.
But hold on though, 2K. One more thing before help me understand something. He's saying that Devin Haney is 3 to 5 years away, right? Teofimo Lopez just proved to us how much of a liar he is. Because remember, Teofimo Lopez claimed that he was trying to make a fight with Devin Haney when he couldn't get the Lomachenko fight.
Oh man, he did say that, didn't he?
Yes, he said he was trying to get the Devin Haney fight when he couldn't, when he thought he wasn't gonna get the Vasil Lomachenko fight. So wait a minute, if he wasn't bringing in revenue, if the nigga didn't have anything, if he wasn't there, why the fuck was you trying to fight that motherfucker when you thought you weren't gonna get Lomachenko? But now that you beat Lomachenko, all of a sudden that same motherfucker who you scalped you wanted is 3 to 5 years away. You lied, motherfucker. You never was gonna fight that boy.
Absolutely.
You wasn't in negotiations to fight that boy. You lied to us.
Sure did. Sure did. Didn't he say he sent something to Eddie Hearn? Eddie Hearn was like, you must have sent it to Eddie Hearn's nigga with an
S.
Right,
exactly. Exactly.
That's the only time Eddie Hearn did some funny shit. That was funny. That was a funny clap back.
You know, in that Hearns. I ain't never got nothing.
You sent that shit to Thomas Hearns, nigga, not Eddie, nigga. Eddie Hearn, nigga.
Right. So get the fuck out of here. That motherfucker just proved to me he was lying then. Because according to your statement, you was trying to make that fight when you thought you wasn't getting Vasil. But you didn't feel he was 3 to 5 years away then. You didn't think he didn't bring no revenue then. You wanted that scout. But now he's 3 to 5 years away. Now that you didn't beat Lomachenko, you never tried to fight Devin Haney.
Sure did. Man, bro, that's a good one right there. I'm telling you, man, we be putting these motherfuckers' backs up against their walls, man. They don't understand. It's too easy. When you know what you're talking about, it's too fucking easy. When you actually know the sport, it's too fucking easy, man. Yeah. Bottom line, Tio, at the end of the day, bro, like we said, at this point, you beat the top dog, right? Top 3 pound for pound fighter. Now it's all about fighting the best from here on out.
Yep.
Until you get beaten or until you retire. That's what it is.
Yep. It's too easy, man. You motherfuckers make it too easy, dog. Like, listen, my man says it best and he says it always. These motherfuckers need what, 2K?
They need fucking PR people, man. They need to hire a whole team, dog, the whole 9 yards, man.
Hey, they need like I'm gonna get you sucker. They need niggas walking behind them. Like, yo, who is this? Oh yeah, man, this is my crew.
Right, bro. The fighters should never even speak. They need to do everything for them, even sign the fucking autograph, nigga. They got to do everything for these fighters, man. They go out there and contradict the fuck out of themselves constantly, man. And it makes it easy for us to call the bullshit out. And it's not propaganda over here. Like we said, we ain't got no goddamn dog in the race. I don't care if Teofimo Lopez becomes undisputed champion in all 17 divisions. If the nigga did it, hell, I'm going to be like, that nigga did it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't care. I don't care who accomplishes what. All I care about is that the fights that need to be made get fucking made. And people who deserve to get opportunities get the opportunities. That's it.
That's it.
If you say some fuck shit that basically strays away from those 2 points that I just made, we calling it out.
Yeah, that's just what it is. We don't care who it is. We called out Earl Spence when Earl Spence tried to talk about something. When they said, well, Crawford beat Ndongo. He said, well, look what happened in Ndongo. Oh, no, Earl, no, Earl,
got nothing to do with none, bro.
They got nothing to do with none, Earl. Your energy has changed, nigga.
Crawford beat a Julius Ndongo that became a unified champion in 6 months, nigga. Stop it.
Right, no shit. No motherfucking shit. Your energy changed, motherfucker. We get it. You saw another dog and figure, all right, man, let me chill out a minute. That's what the fuck happened. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It happens. Ain't wrong with it. You know, we understand. Hey, man, you like, look at me. I got some shit I'm going to do first. Then I'm going to fight him. Bet. We get that. So let's go to some of these comments. My man, she said, 2K, not the wax on, wax off.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. Man, Ralph Macchio, man. That's who he fucking fought, man. Devin Haney. I mean, I'm sorry. Tank Davis fought Ralph Macchio too. Shit. You can find Ralph Macchio name on Tank resume.
Quality said that was a good one about Timothy Brad. That's when you said Manny Pacquiao was playing with his clip.
Yeah. We all know that, man. Like, hey, man, if you mention Manny Pacquiao around Tim Bradley, he gets instantly wet, bro. Instantly. Man. You gotta look down. You might see some wetness in this nigga's jeans, bro. I'm just saying, bro. You can't mention Manny Pacquiao around Tim Bradley. This motherfucker instantly gets an orgasm, man. Instantly.
James Villa said, "Yep, Bradley was annoying in that Loma versus Lopez."
Oh yeah, he did a lot of ball one, yeah, he sure did. And I find myself like, it's funny to me, dog. I don't think Andre Ward likes that nigga, dog, but he works with them, that's why Andre Ward is a stand-up guy, right? Mm-hmm. He tries to be fair and balanced. He will give you his opinion, but he's fair and balanced, just like we are on here. You see what I'm saying? He's a lot less derogatory with his shit because he has to be, because he's on national television. But I guarantee if I get Andre Ward, I actually have already heard it. Never mind. I was gonna say if I get Andre Ward in a private conversation, but I've already heard it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker be saying shit and all this other stuff. So at the end of the day, right, he's fair and balanced. I don't think he fucks with Tim Bradley, but he's a guy, he's a stand-up dude, he's a professional, so he deals with Tim Bradley. That's the situation. I could be wrong, but I'm just going off of the chemistry between him and Tim Bradley when they're live doing Top Rank commentary. It just seems to me that he only deals with Tim Bradley. He doesn't fuck with him. He doesn't really like him, but he deals with him.
Yeah. I think he was saying that Andre Ward said Spence can't say he the top dog. That's what he was referring to when he said that. And yeah, Andre Ward is wrong there. Spence can't say he's the top dog. He's a unified champion.
He's the only unified champion. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. He said, yeah. So yeah, Spence can. If Andre Ward said that, yeah, Spence can say he's a top fucking dog because he's a unified fucking champion.
Yeah, I don't know if he did say that. Then yeah, and that's one of the many things that I disagree with Andre Ward. Like I said before, I disagree with Andre Ward. Don't get it twisted. It's not like Andre Ward says this nigga, whatever comes out of this nigga's mouth can build a house and make gold and bake bread, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I disagree with a lot of shit this nigga said. But at the end of the day, I could disagree with Andre Ward without getting overly pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Than dealing with fucking Tim Bradley, who just says the most outlandish shit because he's trying to push propaganda. He has an agenda and he's trying to push that. and he's been made to be the guy to push that. No, I'm not good with that shit, man.
No. Jason Ortega got Joe. He said he got Bo Bland cheeks. He talking about Timothy Bradley being chubby and shit.
That's fucked up.
He said he got Bo Bland cheeks.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked up, man. Ortega also said the 2015, talking about Spence, the 2015 shit was a build-up process though. But either way, Spence is a twice-a-year fighter type dude. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I just went down to 2015 just because, you know, that was my stopping point. I understand that was a build-up process, but the whole point is that there was only 1 year within a 5-year span in which Spence only fought one time.
Yep.
And that was because he was the mandatory for Kell Brook and he was waiting around for that fight.
Yep. Mar Brazil said, I'm sorry, but Timothy Bradley was kind of suspect talking about Kell Brook's legs. Yes.
I missed that, Mar Brazil. I didn't see that shit. I did not see that.
I didn't say that nigga was.
What did he say, bro?
I didn't think he said, no, he just said he was suspect.
I didn't. I gotta go look that shit up. I
gotta look that shit up too. I missed that. That's funny. He said that nigga was suspect talking about his leg.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? It probably is. It probably is some.
Look at his stance. That's a hell of a stance for a man at 36 years old. You see that shit?
It probably is, man.
Oh man. The Texan said that we already know he can beat them. Assumptions are getting real bad. Fans are actually buying into that whole shit. Yes.
Man, that shit's bad, dog. Like it's really a situation where you could possibly have Terence Crawford retire because I go back to his statement, how he said, I don't need Errol Spence. He said, those guys need me. I'm already in the Hall of Fame. You could see Terence Crawford retire because he's complacent about his position, and he's complacent about his legacy. He's comfortable. You can possibly fucking see that, man, because of this type of this shit right here. He's already comfortable.
Yeah.
Hope not.
I hope not too. Dre Porter said he's talking about Brooks. He said he just came off 3 wins against guys with decent records. Stop making excuses. He can still compete at 147, just not against the top 4. That's the problem. That's the problem.
This nigga just. So he tried to go against what we said, but then in the same statement came around to what we were saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of these niggas don't even know what the fuck they be talking about, man. Yeah, he came out 3 wins against guys with decent records. Let me stop right there. So that tells me you're a box rec nigga. Oh, wait. Sergey Rabchenko, Michael Zarafa, and who was the last guy? Mark DeLuca. I don't know those guys, but they only got like 5 losses between all 3 of them. These guys are good. Let me tell you from a real boxing enthusiast, all 3 of them niggas suck. C-level fighters. Mark DeLuca is a D+ level fighter. These are real boxing enthusiasts that know who these guys are.
Well, the problem.
So he got 3 wins against guys that are at least almost, to be quite honest with you, almost 2 levels below him. Mm-hmm. And you're telling me that's okay for Terence Crawford to call him out? Fuck out of here, bro.
Well, the biggest problem is those 3 guys, 3 wins was at 154, not even 147. That's the biggest problem right there.
That's the biggest problem.
That's the biggest problem.
Well, shit, one of them was Kell Brook probably was really 168 for Rabchenko. A Rabchenko, I think it's Chenka. I think it's an A at the end. That nigga was probably 168 for that goddamn fight, even though it was contracted at 154. Because he missed weight twice. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, these 3 D+ to C- level fighters that Kell Brook defeated. Stop, man.
Yep. Here's one I really want to get to. I'm looking for it now. Here we go, right here. Brook is damaged goods. Man, years later, Crawford taking the scraps, and you got y'all saying Crawford is up there. Get out of here, man. Talking about him being number 1 pound for pound.
I don't think he's number. First of all, Andres, go to 3kingsboxing.com, either on your phone, scroll down to where it says 3 Kings Top 10. If you're on your computer, just look at the goddamn sidebar to the left. It explicitly shows that Terence Crawford is not number 1. Carry on. Next comment.
Okay. No, that's that. See, for me, here's the thing. I don't think people understand the it's pound for pound, right? He's up there on pound for pound because of him going 135, 140, and 147. That's why it's called pound for pound, right? Like I can't erase what he did at 135. I can't erase what he did at 140. And yet, yes, and he did win a belt at 147. So you can't erase that. So that's why, yeah, is he on a top 5 pound for pound, top 3 pound for pound list? Yes. Yes, he is. Because of you can't take away the nigga's resume and his accolades. I can't just wipe it out.
Fucking undisputed champion.
Yeah, he's right.
That's why Usyk is still up there, even though Usyk really hasn't done shit since becoming an undisputed champion. I mean, who'd he beat? John Witherspoon, nigga.
Yeah, yep. Chaz Witherspoon, exactly. And
he beat Craig's dad on Friday, John Witherspoon. He beat him. You know what I'm saying? And fucking Derek Chisora. He hasn't really done anything. However, being an undisputed champion, that means you are the top motherfucker in that division. That is the utmost accomplishment you can make in boxing outside of basically being in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? That is being an undisputed champion almost guarantees you Hall of Fame status unless you're O'Neal Bell or somebody like that. Yep. O'Neal Bell was an undisputed cruiserweight champion. He beat Jean-Marc Mormick and then turned around and got stripped of the IBF title like 2 months later and then lost an immediate rematch to Jean-Marc Mormick and didn't do shit after that. He's like the exception of an undisputed champion that didn't make it to the Hall of Fame. You know, there might be others, but I know he's definitely one.
Yeah, he's one of them.
But it almost guarantees your Hall of Fame status. You see what I'm saying? So it's the utmost accomplishment you can make as an active fighter. So we can't just say, niggas doing that 147, I'll take him out the whole fucking list. Can't do that. Can't do it to Usyk either.
No. And speaking of Usyk, if I'm not mistaken, I think Usyk is the dude that only fought once or twice last year, and then same thing in 2018.
Yeah, but he's not signed with Top Rank, so it doesn't matter. The whole point was because Top Rank fighters doing it. Yeah,
right. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. As always, one more from my man Tex. He said Bud makes adjustments in 3 rounds or less for that for the last couple years. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why we said, man, after 3 rounds, man, there's no problem for Bud.
That's why I said it would only be competitive for 2 to 3 rounds. That's why we said what we said in the prediction video, and that's exactly what happened. It was competitive for 2 to 3 rounds. He nigga adjusted, knocked the fuck out with a jab.
Yep.
Yo, man, it is what it is, man. Y'all know what it is. We're gonna go ahead and end this motherfucker right here. Go to 3kingsboxing.com. For your source of pure, unadulterated boxing information. Follow us on Twitter at 3kingsboxing, Instagram at 3kingsboxing, right here on Facebook.com/3kingsboxing, man. We don't know when we're going to go live again because we just do this shit on a whim. Whenever some fuck shit happens or whenever we feel like we want to talk about stuff, we'll go live. But definitely visit, all the content that we have, all the opinions that we have are typically written in articles on 3kingsboxing.com. So if you waiting on the next podcast, keep waiting. But until then, go to 3kingsboxing.com. But until the next one,